First, a very good afternoon to all the dignitaries and the delegates in the room. I represent Tata Cleantech Capital, which is a joint venture between IFC and the Tata Group, and primarily set up to fund projects in the renewable energy area, energy efficiency area. And we are a pretty new company, and we are learning the ropes from some of our seniors like Irida. And I would like to kind of first reinforce what Mr. Popley said, is that finance is available. It is not that finance is not available. In fact, in the last 1 year, around 7,000 to 8,000 crores of financing or debt financing has been deployed in the Indian market only for the wind sector, not the other sectors. And that's a pretty substantial amount, given that around 2,000 megawatts of wind capacity has been brought in the last financial year. So where are the real challenges then? The challenges that we feel in financing are first, when we are funding, we're essentially, I'll take it on two levels. One is the project level, the other is the promoter level. At the project level, the issues are something everyone knows. Resource assessment is still an area which can be improved vastly. There is data on wind resource, but that is dated probably 2 to 3 years. As the industry matures, we'll have data of longer duration. And that will give more confidence to the lenders to lend to greenfield projects. And I know CWET is doing a lot of work in that area. There are some individual developers who are doing work in that area. So it's a growing up phase for that particular sector. For solar, it's at an infancy. The data is very sparse. So as a lender, we really don't know how the insolation is. It's a very, very sparse data. So it's like a leap of faith when we fund a project, especially a solar project. That's the first one. Second one is about technology. Wind projects today are attracting good funding because the technology is stable. One knows how it works. On the solar side, the crystalline PV is much better known. The thin film PV is a question mark because we really don't know how it will degrade in the Indian conditions. And that's the reason why many lenders are holding finance to thin film solar projects. The second is the duration, because if you're lending for 14 years, 15 years, one has to be sure that the generating asset continues to produce for that long. Otherwise, as a lender, we'll have to find out some other ways of recovering the money. These are more of technical in nature. Our previous panel talked about policy risks, talked about tariff risks. Those risks are definitely there. Those risks are across both the sectors, across both solar as well as wind. And they could still be a surprise for the lender who is lending long term. So a consistency in the policy regime will help the lenders greatly. And consistency in the tariff regime, because we know about solar tariffs being questioned in Gujarat. Policy of evacuation, policy of scheduling coming in all of a sudden. Because if that comes in, it sets a different load on the developer, which he may not be able to manage given the current tariffs. So all those issues are going to be are basically the things that keep lenders at bay from lending to otherwise viable projects. One comment I'd like to make about the promoters: most of the developers are today first-time entrepreneurs with mostly no background in the power sector. There are some good corporates like the Hero Group or some private equity funded entities which are amenable to be lent, and they are attracting capital. It is the smaller entities, first-time developers who are finding it difficult to source funds. And that they also can do it if the earlier risk which I mentioned can be alleviated. This was mainly about the large project, grid-connected projects. There is a huge scope of lending in the off-grid projects. But there too, the people who are developing off-grid solutions, mainly for commercial use, are very small entities. They're doing it for the first time. We have lent to a couple of them to experiment. The lending, the ticket sizes are very small. They're in the range of 50 lakhs to a crore, because they're putting up anywhere in the range of a 100 kilowatt plant. And only after we gain some experience that we will start lending to a larger number of them. Broadly, that's the scope we see on funding renewable energy. renewable energy is definitely an area which will attract funding. It's an area to stay. As lenders, the reason why we are lending is because we have a deep-seated belief that for India, renewable is the future. I mean, it doesn't have much of a choice. So, given that as the risks are getting kind of lesser and lesser or more predictable, the fund flow to this sector is also going to increase. So that's all I have to share with you. Mr. Pope, over to you.